always been very appreciative of all of you because you are what made this story and being a part of your world really so special for me. I've been doing this for a very long time, and the one thing that's always been constant and very consistent about this niche is that from within this niche, there are so many incredibly supportive people who love you dearly for creating videos about the characters and the stories they love so much. No matter how many times you are a part of their world or their soundtrack and how often you tell this story, there are people who keep falling in love with how you can tell the story, because that's really what it comes down to for a content creator, is how they can tell a story and how much they really believe in it themselves. It's one thing for the member of the audience to believe in the story, but what it comes down to is how much the host of the show and the content that's distributed believes in the story themselves. And I can tell you, I really believed in this story. So if you're looking for somebody who appreciates Descendants of Zombies just as much as what you and your heart do, then you should look no further than this YouTube channel and trust in me, and I will never let you down. I will never go away. There will always be something uploaded here, and you can look forward to insights and opinions and predictions, all things all in the one, about Descendants of Zombies, because that's simply what I just wanted to give you with a tremendous amount of heart and dedication. We have all felt a part of this story. The reality of our lives are all we've ever known is being a part of Descendants of Zombies was just so cool and forever fun. And they really were stories that we just wanted to last for forever. And on today, which is my birthday, I would just like to simply say thank you for allowing me to be a part of really your story and your world, because ever since becoming a part of the soundtrack of Descendants of Zombies, I've gone on to meet so many incredible people who have touched my heart, who have forever been with me, who have forever been supportive, and when they could have quit on me, they didn't. And they've been here ever since day one. From the very first video that was ever uploaded here, they believed in my vision for these franchises, which was nothing short of miraculous. I really did believe that these stars had futures in store for them that were going to be incredibly beautiful, that we could feel forever passionate about, and I just wanted to offer encouragement. I had no idea at the time how I would offer so much encouragement and how far we would take these franchises or how far they would get, but along the way, I've had the chance to meet so many incredible people who have forever felt passionate about characters such as Mal, Evie, Red, Chloe, Bridget, and we've all had favorite characters, and we've all felt connected and a part of these stories for quite some time, and I have felt forever humbled and forever honored to be in your presence by how many people subscribe here, upping the view count, upping the subscribers. The numbers speak for themselves, but numbers really never tell me anything. What tells me more are all of you. Because the reality of this is, you can have any critic reviewing Descendants of Zombies who often choose to never really give it the time of day. But who respects these franchises the most are all of you. And a 7-year-old girl watching this video could tell me more about Descendants of Zombies more so than a critic ever could. Because a critic doesn't possess that same passion for Descendants of Zombies, nor respects this franchise as much as what that 7-year-old girl does. Because she has a hope and a dream of Red and Chloe being friends for forever, Zed and Addison falling in love and staying in love for forever. The thing that's always been constant about these franchises are how much you believe in forever. And I know it's been said many times through the decades, through the centuries, through the millenniums, that there's no such thing as forever. We've often heard that more often than enough. But I say it's time we turn that around and we make people believe in forever more than ever before. We really can do something about that, because Descendants of Zombies really were franchises that became the first of a generation that actually had a chance of lasting for forever. Because what this is an arch, and you can just keep on moving forward. It may come at the expense of a brand new cast and a whole new generation of fans, but that's what's so fun about being a part of this, is that we witness these generations coming together to create one phenomenon. So because two generations come together and create one phenomenon, that amplifies the respect, that amplifies the amount of people who love it so much. And as long as we can amplify it and continue to be a part of something special and bring people that much closer together through the power of friendship, kindness, taking people further in this lifetime, and really spreading a positive message about Descendants of Zombies, that's what it comes down to. Because the people who watch these videos just want to know when Descendants 5 is coming out, which is between July 12th through the 19th of this summer. And this summer is going to be something really excited about. I just saw a post from a fan on social media just last night about how excited they were to be a part of this summer because of Descendants 5 and Camp Rock 3 coming out in the same summer, in the same year, around the same time. I believe Descendants is coming out in July, and then Camp Rock 3 will drop in August. So this is really going to be history that we're setting ourselves up to be a part of. So because it's history we're setting ourselves up to be a part of, let's be excited for the new characters, the brand new music, and really a beautiful story. Because we know that Red and Chloe may have created a villain, the evil version of Maddox Hatter. We know that Red has created a sister, and she just wants to show up and have a whole lot of fun. So because she just wants to show up and live in the moment and have a whole lot of fun, let's let her have fun, and let's allow her to be a part of our world and our story for a while and see what she can offer. Because Liamani is one of the most strongest and beautiful characters ever played by somebody that I think we are just instantly going to fall in love with. Kind of like how we fell in love with Bridget right away for just how bubbly she was, how kind she was, and just how much further her kindness really took her in this lifetime, and how she realized, hey, I don't really need to be friends with 500 million people. I just need 2 or 3 really good friends, which just happen to be Ella, Red, and Chloe. And after she realized that, she realized that's all she ever needed to really be a beautiful person. No matter how people felt about Bridget as a character, she really was a beautiful person. I know she was what the Queen of Hearts was before she turned evil, and it may have just offered us an explanation, but Ruby's kindness really took her further, not just on the set of Descendants of Zombies, but really in life. She never wanted to be separated from her friends. She may have been very distant from them because Ruby has this thing where she feels very distant sometimes, and she could never help it. But everybody she surrounded herself with was really, such an honor for her to be around, and she let herself know that every single time that she ever sat on the foot of the Descendants of Zombies. And I really did believe that she offered something special to this franchise more than ever before. I've always loved Ruby. I've always supported Ruby, and I think that a lot of these stars really, the exemplification of kindness really took them further. And that's what's really going to take us further down the road with Descendants of Zombies. Because the way I choose to look at this really is that this story is far from over. And as long as this story is far from over and continues to be a very valued piece of our very existence, we have so much to be excited about. We have Red now debuting this brand new ballad for the first time ever. It's going to fit along the lines of a Dove Cameron type ballad, like If Only from the original Descendants back in 2015. We have Red developing a new love interest. We have so many unanswered questions that still remain, but by the time Descendants etches ever closer, those questions will become more clearer than ever before. I really wish I had the answers to a lot of your questions, like about this love story with Red for the first time ever and the new sister she has created, but I don't. And I'm really, really excited to find out where we go from here. Living in this haunted house never comes easy. I do apologize for some of the noises you guys hear in the background. I've been meaning to get that checked out for a while, but I guess that's what you get when you live near a sodium station and a chemical plant. You never know quite what to expect from one moment to the next. And the cool thing about that is, even if you live in a haunted house, there are people who still subscribe here and will forever like your videos because they just love hearing what you have to say about Descendants of Zombies, because I really do believe in the future. So yeah, today is my birthday, and I've often thought about how long I've been actually doing this on my birthday. I've been doing this for almost 30 years. And in the 30 years that I've covered every aspect of Disney ever before Descendants of Zombies became a part of my life, I've often thought about all the eras that I've been a part of. The Golden Era, the Silver Era, the Renaissance Era, the Post-Renaissance Era, and now what is being referred to as Disney's Revival Era. Because it really is a revival era where we're seeing such beautiful franchises created off of that revival era within it. We have Tangle, we have Frozen, we have Frozen 3, we have Tangled's live action, we have all these incredible live actions that have previously been produced, and actually just last night I watched the live action remake of Snow White. They filmed this one in England, and the thing that I noticed about the live action Snow White was that nobody really wanted to give it much of a chance, quite like Descendants of Zombies, because of Rachel Zegler's portrayal of Snow White. And I don't think it really had anything to do with her portrayal of Snow White that offered her the criticism. It was just her opinions on life and how she obviously felt very differently. She believed that she should be paid right down to the last dime after having spent 12 hours dressed up as a Disney princess, and I kind of get where she's coming from, because there's a lot of pressure on her shoulders, and that's what we have to think about. Just because she said that never really made her a bad person. It's just her opinion because of the work ethic and how much heart and dedication you had to put forth to bringing a princess to life. Nobody really understands that. And then, of course, they started shooting Snow White, I believe, from March to July of 2025. I think I got that right. So from March to July of 2025, they started filming it. And actually 2022. Sorry, 2022, let me rephrase that. In 2022, they started filming Snow White from March to July, and then by 2025, they finally had it ready to go. They filmed parts of it in the United Kingdom, And while they were filming it, they had to get it right down to a T. So they were under a lot of pressure. And I remember all the criticism that Snow White faced. And then Descendants of Zombies came years later after a 5-year hiatus had been seen, and nobody ever thought they were going to be as powerful as of a franchise coming back after a 5-year hiatus had been seen, but they really did. They touched more hearts than ever before. They drew so much inspiration from all these original characters and their original stories, like The Little Mermaid, Sleeping Beauty, who actually on this day in history had the unveiling of a brand new look for her castle in Disney World, and they actually opened Disney World in Hong Kong, which is the only Disney World that many people who are fans of visiting the multiple theme parks have never actually been to. I know a lot of people who have been to a lot of Disney theme parks, but they've never actually been to Hong Kong. So today we are honoring the opening of Disney World in Hong Kong. We are honoring such moments like the unveiling of Sleeping Beauty's brand new castle look. So there's such a history to go back through and relive through Disney. And then we wonder how these stars have drawn so much inspiration and been able to apply character traits, which is something I feel very confident about and very sure of, because they are very, very powerful. I think this empowerment journey they've been on discovering themselves is something to feel very passionate about and forever supportive about. I think the friendship between Kylie Cantrell and Malia Baker, just as an example, is incredibly beautiful, and I really found time in supporting them. I remember all the rumors that we had about them last year and how they felt about each other because of the breakup between Kylie Cantrell and Malachi Barton. And that's when I really began to feel for Kylie, because I really believed we needed to give her more of a chance. I think she felt misunderstood. Her emotions were getting the better of her. She took to social media. She was crying all the time because she missed her friends. People were feeling very differently about her, taking exception to her opinions, like political points of view and her relationship status. And I really believe we needed to back off. Kylie is someone who is going to be turning 21 in June of this year, which is actually just next month. So there's about a month between myself and Kylie's birthdays, because my birthday is, of course, May 24th and hers is June 26th. So we have about a month until Kylie's 21st birthday. This is going to be a huge year for all of your favorites because some of them are going to be turning 21. Kylie and Ruby alike will be turning 21, and I believe Malia Baker for the first time turns 19 this year. So I really do believe that there is a lot that we have to look forward to, and there is something very special about them. And I think that as we move forward into the future with these stars, as they turn 21, we can show more love and support for them because they are really, figuring out their place in this world, which we all have to go through. Some of us are going through it now. I went through it when I was 16 years old, and my biggest concern was beating Metal Gear Solid 2, or playing the latest video game of Donkey Kong, because Donkey Kong was one of my favorite video games of all time. But you haven't got to tell anybody. Donkey Kong's on, and I really, what is it? It's on like Donkey Kong is the phrase I'm searching for. Yeah, it's on like Donkey Kong. I actually have a Donkey Kong shirt. But again, you don't have to tell anybody that. So my greatest concern was beating the latest version of the Donkey Kong video game, while people like Freya Sky at this age now are trying to make names for themselves within this industry, while we're sitting at home and doing nothing with our lives. The reality of a critic they are sitting at home doing nothing with their lives, and the only thing they find time in doing is criticizing somebody like Freya, who's ultimately doing more than what they ever did. And I really think we need to cut them some slack. We really need to give them a break. I just recently read a post that a fan had written on their social media. I think it was on X. And he was referring to the criticism that Freya had been receiving. He or she was referring to the criticism Freya had been receiving. And he alluded to the fact that the majority of these critics, and I kind of liked the post, he alluded to the fact that the majority of these critics really weren't giving Freya much of a chance because they didn't really want to know who Freya was. And they were offering her criticism while they were sitting home doing nothing. I had the chance to be a part of something so special. So because I had the chance to be a part of something so special that involved all your favorite characters and your favorite stars, I just simply wanted to give you the best. I had no idea how I would ever do that. I pretty much put myself in the hole after financing a YouTube channel, but I've never had any regrets because you guys allowed me the honor of being a part of your world. And I will never forget any of you for allowing me the honor of being just that, a part of your world. There are so many special moments we have already experienced, so many special moments we have yet to be a part of, and I'm just incredibly excited to be a part of it with all of you, because I know there are people out there who love Descendants of Zombies even more than what I ever have. I saw the strength of Meg Donnelly and how she always wanted people to never feel alone, like they had somebody to support them and always love them because of her personal struggles, and she became very vocal about that by 2021. I will never forget how she became very vocal about that. She felt very nervous to let you guys know how she was really feeling, and I remember being incredibly supportive of her the first time she took to social media and started creating videos about anxiety and depression and pressure that you were under. Because nobody really knows what that person is going through, and I think everybody deserves an equal opportunity to really stand out for what they love the most being a part of, and I think that friendship really matters in this lifetime because it's really a precious commodity. Because oftentimes, you could probably make a friend instantly and you never really have trouble making friends. But the thing that you got to think about are there are people out there who do have trouble and great difficulty making friends because they feel they'll never be accepted because their viewpoints and their opinions are very different. But just because somebody's opinion is very different does not give you the right to feel bullied, to be backed into corners, and to feel alone. And that's one of the reasons why I created this YouTube channel, is that people who felt like that never had to feel like that ever again. People felt connected to somebody who obviously heard them, saw them, and appreciated them for who they were. And as I got to meet more fans of Descendants and Zombies, I certainly gained a greater appreciation for how you guys felt, how your opinions should always be valued. I know there are people who will forever criticize me for creating videos about Descendants and Zombies, but I've always wanted people to know they never had to feel alone, and they were seen and heard here on this YouTube channel because their opinions were valued about their favorite characters, a favorite song they may have had, a moment where they realized that being a fan of Descendants and Zombies was just simply cool, how they spent all their money on Descendants and Zombies dolls and all the merch that comes with it. I myself just recently bought a collection of Descendants and Zombies posters that I can't wait to put on display here for you guys, but that wall is causing me a bit of problem because the thing is about that wall, there are so many nostalgic princesses and characters on that wall, and that wall is really beautiful. It cost me a bit to do it, and I don't really want to part with it, but in order to incorporate the Descendants and Zombies posters that I have to take down that wall. And I don't really want to take down that wall, at least for a little while longer, because I'm somewhat of a Disney nostalgist, because this wall, while it may be preventing me from putting up Descendants and Zombies posters, which I have, spending over $200 on, but again, we haven't got to tell anybody that. The thing about this wall is, it really triggers my emotions, and I've often said that Descendants and Zombies really have allowed me to experience every emotion in the book, because it truly did. And because it allowed me to experience every emotion in the book, it's what led me to becoming friends with all of you. And I don't really want to part with it, but I will get around to putting up the Descendants and Zombies posters, which I've been promising you for a while. So if you would love to be a part of this conversation, I would love for you to hit my subscribe button, because the way I look at this story and choose to always look at and believe in it is that this story is far from over, and we still have a long way to go, and I just can't wait to continue to be a part of your story and your world for just a little while longer, because we have so much to be excited about. We have the Perfect Princess music video coming out. Actually, this week it will officially be released, and what I'm referring to is the actual music video, because the original Perfect Princess music video that was released was a music video that was shot in Disney World. So they're releasing an official music video featuring Pink, Liamani Segura's character, and this is a beautiful way to introduce her to the franchise. So I will have more to say on this coming week as we make our way into the final month before Descendants 5 with Wonderland drops. And I can't believe I just said that, because this time last year we were wondering how we were going to get through the year that lied ahead. We had no idea what was in store for us as fans of Descendants and Zombies, and I just saw a post the other day where somebody was saying just another day without any Descendants and Zombies goodies or any new news. The thing about Disney is what you got to realize, and I'll have more to say on this in an upcoming podcast probably tomorrow, because this is the last video I'll upload for today, because of course I just uploaded two videos throughout today already. I'll have more to say on this tomorrow. The thing you've got to realize is Disney does this very strategically because they don't want anything leaked. Disney's always had this way of leaking things, and they never want to leak anything anymore because of just how lack of creative nature they have. They don't really have as many creative minds as what they had probably back in 04, 05. Because I remember this really interesting story about how one of the most creative minds in the history of Disney, their CEO at the time, Rob Eisner, had walked out. And after Rob Eisner had walked out of Disney, they lost a lot of creative energy and creative incentive. So as a result of him walking out, after he had believed the entire Disney company had lost their creative edge and their creative imaginations, Disney had this, this thing where they couldn't create any creative characters anymore. They didn't really have creative minds. So this is why it's referred to as the revival era, because Disney has really come into its own after having creative frozen and tangled. They really put their minds to work. And ever since creating characters like Big Hero 6 and Tangled and Frozen, they really turned a corner, like they did back during World War II, when of course Cinderella became one of the most successful Disney movies ever created, and a very successful franchise at that. The thing about Disney is they don't want so much leaked, so they try to keep everything under wraps until about 30 days before the movie is released. So within the month of June, which is only just a couple of days away actually, because today is the 24th, what will happen is Disney will start rolling out all this promotion. And as the promotion for Wicked Wonderland rolls out, everybody's going to be on YouTube, and they're going to be watching videos by the thousands of views. And I can't wait for that to happen, because what that means are people are going to find this YouTube channel, and they're going to find out how forever passionate I've always been about Descendants of Zombies, and I can't wait to meet you. I can't wait for you to be a part of these conversations. So why don't you come along on what's been an incredible journey, and we will get more involved with Descendants of Zombies than ever before. We will get right into those conversations, and I would love for you to be a part of them. Again, guys, thank you so much for joining me on today, which is my birthday. It's really hard to believe that I've been doing this for so long, and I've had the chance to meet so many incredible people along the way. Again, today is my birthday, and I feel so honored to have the chance to spend my birthday around all of you. Because as far as I'm concerned, the fans within the niche of Descendants of Zombies are some of the most incredibly supportable and lovable fans that you could ever have the chance to provide commentary and opinions for. Because the thing you got to realize about them, while they may not know what the future has in store, I mean, what am I saying? I don't even know what the future has in store. We all don't. It's probably a good thing that we don't, because we'd probably be scared to death of what the future had in store for all of us. But, I've always believed that that's what makes the future so unpredictable. It's kind of like going to see a movie for the first time ever. You're so excited to see the Super Mario Galaxy movie, or The Cat in the Hat, or you're so excited to see Moana live action, and then all of a sudden a new preview comes up for a new movie, like Spider-Man Brand New Day. And then you're like, oh my God, I gotta go see Spider-Man Brand New Day. I've seen all of them, but I have yet to see this one. And then you start making plans. The thing about movie previews are you don't know what's coming next, and they turn out to be the most exciting thing about the movies. Like today I'm going to see The Mandalorian and Groot for the first time ever. Because the thing that content creators will never tell you is that they're paid to go see these movies. Again, don't tell them I told you that. They act all big and they're like, oh, I just went and saw The Mandalorian and Groot. But the thing is, because they have 30,000 subscribers, the movie companies are pushing them in through the door, and they don't have to pay anything. Now, I do pay for a lot of the movies that I go to out of my own pocket, but there are more times than often enough I never had to, but I do pay for movies out of my own pocket because I want to see all these movies for you guys. The fact is, I've sacrificed my life for Descendants of Zombies, and I've had no regrets, and I've just loved being a part of your stories and your worlds. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of your stories and your worlds for this long, and I look forward to being a part of your stories and your worlds for just a little while longer, because we have so much to really be excited about. So why don't you come along on this incredible journey? I would love for you to hit my subscribe button. I would love for you to be a part of these conversations, because we can keep this story going and moving forward for just a little while longer. And I'm so excited to be a part of this story for forever, really. Thank you so much for having a special place in your heart for what has become this YouTube channel and this story. And as always, from my heart to yours, thank you so much for having watched these videos.